What up?
What's happening with you, man?
Welcome
Yes,
to
sir.
another
Sunday night service.
Sunday night service. You know we couldn't leave you hanging.
Can't leave you hanging.
We know it's the Christmas season, and we are the reason for the season. We are the greatest gift outside of Jesus.
Listen, y'all. Hang low the mistletoe. I want to get to know
We just lost
you
all our
better.
viewers. We just lost all of them.
This Christmas.
Just changed keys.
It was sweet, though. It
Was
was
it
smooth.
sweet?
Wasn't it smooth? Yes, sir.
Cracking me up.
What's going on?
Cracking me up. What's going on? Nothing much, man. The show is, come on, let's make it happen. The show is brought to you by
Phillips Care Fitness. Ain't that right?
Yes, you got it right, man.
See?
You got it. You got it
Phillips
right.
Care Fitness with
Right.
Mike Fitness on High Street. He ready.
He just changed it that quick.
That's it, man. You know, he ready to get y'all right. Hey, it's almost a new year.
It's almost a new year.
It's almost y'all know y'all about to make those New Year's resolutions.
Y'all about to start lying again. Let
To
the
get your
lies
body
begin.
Hey, I'm gonna be tight in 2023.
Right. That's what you mean your
I'm gonna
money.
be snatched. They're gonna snatch your money
Snatched.
out your bank account.
I'm eating. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Hey, man, listen, man. Is it just me, or is the people out there ringing the bells for Santa Claus? Is they ain't getting no money because everybody got debit cards?
Man, listen, they need to have some tap and pay. They need to have some tap to pay.
I be feeling bad, but I'm like,
I don't.
I tell them after I leave because I'm gonna try to get some cash back.
That's
but
what
then
I
I
used
forget
to
the
say.
cash back.
But that's what I used to say. I used to say I'll have change. But I don't have change now. So either you jack me for my iPhone or you ain't getting nothing. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's how it's got to go. But some of the cats look like they about to do it. We got a quota to meet, dog. You know, you better come up off something.
Come up off something.
I mean, but
they
that's
bears
another.
They bears be black. They don't be gray.
Oh yeah, they have.
They be nappy beards.
They be tired, soul glow beards, Jerry curl beards. Yeah, it's not working. I mean, that's a perfect example of a model that needs to keep up with the time. But who's going to tap for $1?
Right.
Or what if they had it that it automatically taps you for $1? Like it's already set. You don't have to set an amount. It's just sitting there like donate $1, walk by and tap. Now would that not get people?
That would get people.
Because you know the thing about giving is the easier it is, the better.
Yeah.
And I don't miss it, you know. Or if they did it like every time you walk in, whether you like it or not, it just takes $1. It just jack you for $1. That's some Elon Musk stuff, you know. Just take what you got.
Don't go back. Going back and forth, they get out of money.
But you're right, man. It's the bell ringing season.
It is the bell ringing season.
Gift giving season, toys for tots.
So have you gone Christmas shopping yet?
My gifts are still in my thoughts and prayers. And we're only 2 weeks away. My gifts are in our thoughts and prayers. But you know, Christmas is different now, Pastor Jeff. It's different now because it used to be go out and, you know, shop and hide your gifts somewhere or whatever, right?
Right.
Now it's, sometimes I just do it openly. Now it's just guess what's in the Amazon box.
Yeah.
Just guess which one is going to be yours.
Yeah.
Because after time, they're going to see them coming. Or if you're slick, you try to send it to somebody else's house.
Yeah.
But I don't like that hassle.
It's a hassle. I used to go to do it, take over all stuff over my mother-in-law's house, then try to go out after the kids go to sleep on Christmas Eve.
And then try to
I got to get her up. Then I got, wake my mother-in-law up, go downstairs, put all the stuff in the car, come back, try to wrap it up. By the time they get up for Christmas, I'm like, look, you know what? I don't care if y'all open these or not.
And you know what? My 2 older ones are officially they know age.
Right.
They fully know. So now it's like, we're not even playing gift giving anymore. We're playing keep away. That's what we're doing. We're playing keep away. Like where I'm gonna hide this stuff at, you know. So what do y'all do? You guys at home, do you hide gifts from the grandkids, the kids? Are you Amazon shoppers? I don't even want to shop. I don't want to go to the store and buy anything.
It ain't no, listen, I went, was it yesterday?
I hope my kids aren't watching me right now.
I went yesterday and everything is, man, it's so expensive out there. I don't think it's like one gift under $50.
Man, how is inflation hitting Legos? That's what I want to know. How is inflation hitting Legos? I mean, something in our economy don't have to be inflation. I mean, something's got to be inflation proof.
I'm like, come on. You could go, used to go Christmas shopping for about $300-$400. get over it, man. It's unnatural.
That's where I'm about to be at. I mean, it is what it is. You know, Johnson's on a budget. It be what it be. You're going to get what we get.
Ball humbug.
Ball humbug. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm a Scrooge. I hate it.
You a Scrooge? You hate it?
Yeah.
Listen, these people, this PlayStation 5, first of all, you can't find them. Then when you do find, it's $600.
That's just for the basic
That's
thing.
one gift, $600.
Video games turned into the devil. The first time they came out with the video game with only one controller, I was through after that.
Yeah, how you gonna play with one controller?
After that,
like, man. I can't even play with you no more.
We wasn't raised on that, man. I mean, you weren't raised on that and then they started making you download. My kids, I mean, they didn't download like all the viruses in the world on it because it's all about download now. Yep. So I don't even know what they're doing. They probably on there with pedophiles. They be on Roblox with 60-year-old men. We don't know. We don't know. It's probably the dude ringing the bell and Sparkle playing with my kid on Fortnite. Man, I mean, it's crazy.
Well, you got your tree up yet, at least?
The trees are up. We have two trees, one upstairs, decorative, one upstairs, and one downstairs. And London, being the loner that she is, has her own tree because she's a separatist. She's a separatist. Thank you, Pastor Tatum. I'm glad you tuned in because you had a little something to say about the Steelers the other week. And I saw those wonderful Giants getting tore up. They got beat down like they wandered into the Bronx by the Philadelphia Eagles. And that was not a pretty sight. But you know what? We're all in the same basement right now.
Yeah, we all down there. It's so low. It's so sad.
Deshaun Watson needs a massage. Mitch Trubisky needs to just quit the league. It is what it is.
We are. It's a slow day. So there's Jason.
Hi, Jason. I see where you're at during service. About to call him out. About to call out folks that wasn't in church. No, I'm joking. So this is going to be a freestyle show.
It's freestyle. If y'all want to talk, if y'all got some topics, throw them up. Talk to us.
I've been sick all week. So if I start coughing too bad, but what we'll do is
coronavirus.
It might be. Or what's the new one?
We're about to start wearing masks on this show.
RSV.
It was start wearing masks.
It's called RSV.
Yeah.
That's the one the kids are getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's when all the kids are getting. And then the flu is out, So now everyone's complaining about the flu shot more than they ever did before. Like, I took the flu shot and I got the flu. And I'm like,
I've never took the flu shot in my life.
I never have either.
I got every coronavirus COVID shot, but I ain't taking no flu shot.
I got a coronavirus shot from the guy that rings the bell outside Sparkle. They're doing corona shots too, apparently. Are we done with boosters now?
They're gonna have another one coming out.
Yeah, but are we done getting them?
Oh, I'm gonna get them every time they come out. I don't care if they come out one every 3 months. I'm just going to get it.
I got 2 of them, and that's it for me.
I got 2 of them too.
Yeah, I'm done.
I got 2 of them too, and I just feel like sooner or later they're gonna turn this into a cyborg or something. I mean, a mutant. One of them got to have like the X mutant in it, the mutant gene. I'm saying I'd be disappointed if we took this many booster shots and I didn't grow claws or something. I mean, it's somewhat disappointing. Tatum says the flu shot is worth it. Well, yeah, if you live in New York. Y'all be all up on each other. We got all kind of space in Ohio. We can lay out in the grass and run around in the woods.
I was watching a guy on TikTok who said what gave the 10 things you shouldn't do if you go to
New York.
To New York, yeah.
I saw it.
He's like, don't go to the Bronx
at all. Yes,
unless you go into a baseball game. I don't care if your family there. Don't go. You ain't. He said it's like the Book of Eli.
The Book of Eli in the Bronx. I saw that. Me and the wife was watching that the other night. That was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I probably need to get another booster. Let's say like if I start traveling again in the spring, I'll probably get another booster because people have been reckless all this time. So. But again, I'm really gunning, and I'm trying to talk to you guys, CDC, whoever is developing these, they put something extra special in there for us.
Yeah, hey,
a little bit of crack, something. I mean, anything. I mean,
give us gummy boosters.
I bet you more people would get the booster if it like got them a little bit high.
Then they start selling it up on at the weed store.
I bet you more people get the booster if they had like a little something to it. Little,
brownie boosters with weed extra.
A little something. No one goes to the Bronx. We're still wondering why they exist. Oh my God.
So that says it for me. I ain't going.
And it was right after we watched that video that my wife said, she started singing. She was like, I'm just Jenny from the Bronx. I said, from the block, Shamika. She said, block. She said, no, it's Bronx.
You come on.
I said, this song is 20 years old. You've been singing, I'm just Jenny from the Bronx. If she was Jenny from the Bronx, she would have never cut an album because she would have never made it out the Bronx.
That's the Kojic version.
That's the Kojic version.
We could done the Kojic version.
I'm just Jenny from the altar. I'm just Jenny from the Tarian service. All right, y'all. So, hey, it's of course, Freestyle. No, we don't watch your flu shots. They ain't trying to get no flu shots. They're trying to collect the offering at the Monument of Faith. Call it what it is, Miss Sherry. The CFOC, Community Faith Outreach Complex, December 13th, 5 to 7 p.m. Get your flu shots. All right, we'll do a PSA.
We can do it.
Get your flu shots.
But, I mean.
You'll get a little bit hot. No, I'm joking. Will they have turkey legs too? That's what I want to know. Will they have my friend Bishop Herron's famous turkey legs?
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
Okay, this is what you call a real deal. Tell Bishop to have the health department sponsor a free turkey leg for every person that gets the flu shot.
Oh, yeah, they coming. They in there.
Talk about healthy communities.
They in there.
They'll be there.
Hey, the one time I had to get a tetanus shot.
Okay.
They asked me when was the last time I had a tetanus shot? And, obviously I lied. I was like about 2 years ago.
Right.
Then they showed me this video about tetanus shots. And about getting tetanus. So I was like, let me go ahead and get this tetanus shot. This 400-year-old lady was too happy to have me pull down my pants.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
400 years old.
That was the first action she'd seen since the Civil War.
That thing hurt so bad, man. I thought, I ain't sit down for 2 days.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't think I ever had a tetanus shot.
She might have done more.
You sure it was a lady? All right, y'all. This is about to be one of them shows. Y'all know what time it is. We got a good one today, too. It's time for Meme of the Week.
Because it's Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the Week. Meme of the Week.
Thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
These are all jokes. We are just playing.
When you're trying to follow along in your Bible, but your version is way.
We have all been there.
We've all been there now. This is the season because of the tablet phone Bible.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing is everybody's reading a different version.
Absolutely. And you trying to find a version to make your sermon sound the best.
That's exactly right.
Right.
If the King James version does not use the right word for joy, I'm going to use the NIV version, and you're just going to have to deal with it.
Then they got all these new ones, the new African American standard.
Oh, yeah. The new Death Row Records Bible, the Crip version. They got the backwoods, the trailer park Bible. Yeah.
Jesus, how you going to be acting like that? What?
It's giving sacrifice. Did y'all see what Noah did? He ate all that up. He ate today.
David peep game to Bathsheba.
Listen.
Rush around here.
Rush around here. Rush around here and carry your cross. We need to write our own version of the Bible. What's up, Pastor Barnes? We are writing our own version of the Bible. There's too many versions out there for us to not have our own version.
Absolutely.
That's too much to have our own version.
In the beginning, it was dark outside.
Right. I mean, I'm loving it. But that's exactly right. Now, I tend to use the more modern translations in Bible study. Mm-hmm. I'm an NIV Bible study person, but that's only because it's what we use in class. in my schooling. But I also tend to use NLT or NIV when I have an unchurched funeral to do.
Yeah. That's smart. That is really smart.
Like the guy in the picture, you can see the saints who know what the real text is.
Hey, you ain't allowed to use no other Bible but King James at Progressive. Don't you come up there with no NLT, NIV, all that stuff. That stop you. Pastor, I ain't in the King James version.
It's supposed to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding. The NLT version be like, be still and just sit there. It's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right.
It's gonna be all right.
Just sit down somewhere.
Just sit down somewhere. Sit down. But that's exactly right. But everybody has their own version, and let's be honest about it. And some people have their own versions, plus other resources and commentaries, so they can fact check the preacher,
right?
And come up with their own ideas about whatever you're reading.
You ever read the wrong scripture for your sermon?
Oh yeah,
you
more than once.
Everybody turn to that scripture, and you read the wrong one, and everybody just stop.
Like we don't. No, they'll try to be polite and just Pastor having an off day today must be the devil. He must not be. He didn't pray over this one. He must not have prayed over this one because he would have got it right. Yeah. I've definitely done that. I mean, I've missed it. I've missed the mark more than once.
Man, more than once.
But so, do you think? I mean, I know it's good. What about the member who reads the study notes in the Bible? Yes.
Oh my God.
And I'm telling you, I don't care if it is in the Bible. It's still just somebody's opinion
right?
And research that is
especially
the
commentaries.
The commentaries.
Yeah, and they try to make it like that's the Bible, like God said it. No,
Matthew Henry said it. You know it. We all been reading the same
old prejudice dates.
Exactly. He was whipping a slave and writing about the Bible at the same time. What are you doing? Yeah, they're challenged, but it's still just somebody's opinion and research. And if you actually read behind the people, they'll talk about what's disputable and all this other stuff. One of my professors was saying that, the commentaries are made to be sold.
Absolutely.
They're made to sell. He said, what you really want to do is look up academic research papers like that people have to write for their dissertations and all. He says, because people will be very bold and courageous because they're not as public.
Right.
So if they have a theory about, their research. And I thought that was interesting. You're absolutely right. And then people have those other versions of the Bible. And honestly, just like we look for something, preachers, you preachers, look for something to fit your sermon. So do people. People look for things that fit their lives. They look for things that will fit their life.
Man, I remember,
and they'll ignore the stuff.
At one time, I was going somewhere and everybody was grabbing the metaphysical Bibles. It was all crazy. It had got crazy because everybody looking for something different or something deeper or something more challenging or something, that ain't
the Wakandan Bible.
Man, listen,
I would preach out of that.
Oh, definitely.
Especially if old girl Lupita is going to be the church mother. One of that church.
Lupita.
But anyway, I mean that's the challenge of the church these days is everybody have access, and it's a good thing, but in a way, as Pops would say, just enough to hurt yourself. Yeah, just enough to hurt yourself.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna thank our sponsors and then dive into a couple subjects today. Our show is sponsored by the Phillips Care family of businesses, Phillips Cleaning Service. They can take care of anything that concerns your house, your business, commercial, residential building, deep cleaning, wood cleaning, floor cleaning, move in, move out. They can remove refuse from your yard work, all that stuff. They can take care of installing appliances and all that jazz. Check them out at Phillips Care LLC on Facebook. Call my man Fernando at 330-219-7916. And while you're at it, might as well get that outdoor work done. I know that lawn care season is over for most of us. Our man Said is still out there cutting, though. I mean, he's grinding.
Said gonna cut in the snow.
And he'll cut gravel. He doesn't care. He's that hardcore. He's come from the streets. But Phillips Care, they only cut grass. And they also do snow plowing, trimming, leaf removal, branch removal, all that stuff. Starting at $30.
Hype too. My peoples.
My peoples.
My people. And you don't see that one shed of grass right there. You don't see that.
And he ain't saying nothing today because the Browns lost. But call my man Fernando at 219-7916 or look up Phillips Care LLC on Facebook. They'll be glad you did. So this is the freestyle edition of Religiously Incorrect.
So let me start it off.
Pastor Jeff.
First of all, you was over my house a couple times this weekend, right?
I was.
What happened to all my leaves? Look at God. Wasn't a leaf on the porch. Wasn't no leaves. Ain't no leaves in the grass.
Did Phillips Care come by?
They didn't come by. It's just gone. It disappeared. The Lord cut my grass or break my leaf. I don't know. They gone though.
He hired a crackhead. That's what happened.
They gone. I'm telling you, it's gone. I don't know how it happened. It might be in somebody else's yard.
It's probably somebody else's yard. The more you say it, the more I realize because it was like a madhouse.
Right.
I don't know.
I ain't do it. It's gone though.
Well.
Hey,
God bless you. Mine is still
sir.
Back there somewhere. I got a new neighbor I haven't met yet.
Oh, somebody moved in.
They moved in. I haven't met him yet.
So somebody had, because he sold that house for a lot of money. Somebody got some money next to you.
I'm gonna find out. They're gonna join my church. I know that. Might be Herschel Walker. Since he never lived in Georgia, he'll probably do better in Ohio. Might be old Herschel. What's up, Hersh? What's up, Mr. Werewolf? Oh, Tanya. Cold-blooded. I was trying to stick by my boy, man. Said the leaves are still there this afternoon. That's cold-blooded.
It might be a couple still there, but they ain't nowhere near like it was.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded.
I mean, you had to literally like walk through the leaves.
All right. So first subject of the night. This is Freestyle Edition. If you have a subject you want us to discuss about some current event or news, go ahead and type it in the comments and we'll try to get to it. First subject of the night. BG is free. Brittany Griner is finally free from her Russian oppression.
How long was she in?
Like 9 months.
Ooh, she about to make a record.
10 months. She probably already made a mixtape in there.
I heard she
Siberian
said,
Death Row.
I heard she said as soon as she get home, first thing she wants to do is go to church, but she can only go to Jamal's church. So.
Okay. We'll get to Jamal's church in a minute. She was parked outside the CBD store on Market Street.
Oh,
BG is home. And here's how this happened. There was a prisoner swap.
Mm-hmm.
A prisoner swap for Victor Boot, who is apparently a notorious arms dealer.
Right.
And they call him the Merchant of Death. Now, again, I don't know if this is on my X-Men theme, but he sounds like a supervillain, like the Claw dude from Black Panther. But he kind of looks like him too.
He does.
He kind of looks like Ulysses Claw. But so this guy was an international arms dealer, and the U.S. was holding him for 25 years apparently, and he'd been in for some time since like 2011 or 2010 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Brittany Griner has been held by the Russians for getting picked up at the airport for like 10 months now.
Right.
10, 11 months. And it's obviously purely political. Mm-hmm. But folks are furious. Furious. They say it's not an even trade. Is an arms dealer, I even hate the terminology, but I'm just repeating what they said. Is an arms dealer worth a WNBA player? Now, let me just start before you answer.
Go ahead.
It's obvious that they're putting an emphasis on W.
Right.
It's obvious that when they say that, they're putting the emphasis on
WNBA.
Because we don't like WNBA when they're free. I mean, we don't. And so they're going crazy saying it's not an even trade. Joe Biden's administration worked this trade.
Right.
There apparently were, I'm saying trade like it's a doggone NBA deal. She was a free agent and Sixers picked her up. They probably could. And so what do you think about the release, the swap, and what do you think about the response?
Well, there's a couple things we can talk about. The fact that he only had a couple years left. But my response is, it's not, it probably wouldn't feel even to you unless it was your family.
Unless it was your family.
Unless it was your family.
You would give up Hitler for your family.
Absolutely,
I mean, right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And and I think that what she done, she shouldn't have been in jail anyway. That's just my personal opinion. So, and I'm thinking, I'm happy she's free.
You said what she's done, she shouldn't be in jail anyway. But we also know that there's a whole lot of black men in jail right here in America.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
For some of the same stuff.
I'm not debating that. I'm saying for them to pick her up and put her in jail instead of letting her go for what she had.
Less than an ounce of CBD oil. Or
yeah, I mean, come on,
less
now.
than a gram or something.
Hemp, yeah. It's like, come on now,
So Marlon said the people that are mad can't even point out Russia on a map. Okay, the people that are mad are constantly saying free Pookie, and he didn't kill like 3 people.
Absolutely,
free my dog.
Uh-huh.
Free my dog. I would say that we all know the number one outrage is, first of all, political.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that we live in a world of constant commentary. Everybody has something to say and everyone wants to be outraged about something. Right. Now, this Victor Boot dude, the issue for me is he is a war criminal, a merchant of death. But let's be clear. This might sound silly to you, but he only had 25 years.
Right.
He only had 25 years and he'd already served over a decade of it.
Right.
So I'm sitting here like, well, if he was that bad, why wasn't he in jail for life?
Right.
No parole, no swap. Why isn't he in jail for that? If he's as bad as he says, if he's going to be let out, that should be fair game. Dwayne says the key word for me was empathy. I get the various views, but that was still someone's child. Other people say you do the crime, you do the time. But what time?
What?
And in a labor camp in Siberia?
Man. I mean, I'm excited because I know she's gonna write a book. She's gonna write a book.
She should.
She's gonna write a book.
She should. Now, how do you feel about the Marine guy that they said they left behind?
Well, I mean,
Paul Whelan.
Well, as a vet myself, this guy was DOD.
Meaning
he dishonorably discharged.
Right. So he
was dishonorably discharged.
But all the Patriots are using him as this
guy done some ignorant stuff
while he was in
the Marines. Listen.
And then he went to Russia and got accused of espionage.
Right. So let's just.
If you get caught doing that, you deserve to stay in Russia. Because, I mean, you ought to know better than to go over there fooling with them people.
And then this arms dealer, the Russians ain't happy with him either. So he might not even, he might not live to see it. A couple more days.
He's a hero now, man. I mean, they need some arms. They out there fighting the Ukrainians with rocks and slingshots and stuff. I mean, the Russians out there trying to get King David to come out there and fight for him.
Maybe he got saved in prison. Maybe he's gonna stop selling. Maybe he's a preacher now.
Victor Boot went to all the chapel services when we would go and do prison ministry. He was probably on the front row. Because don't it be all that? Come on, we've done it, Jeff. It'd be the most craziest serial killing cats on the front row with a whole hymn book and a Bible.
Man, listen.
Doing all the praise and worship.
They know it all.
They will play the keyboards. I'm not joking. I've done some prison ministry. They play the keyboards, the drums, and then literally go out and just fight somebody in the yard as soon as they're done. It's just hilarious.
And pray over them
afterwards after they shank them.
May the Lord have mercy on your soul.
Okay, do Americans get exempt from other country laws because they are not illegal in the U.S.? Are we filtering it through American colored glasses? Well, that kind of brings to mind the World Cup thing in Qatar where, homosexuality is banned. And they say, respect our customs.
Right.
These are our laws. Well, I don't think we're exempt. I think that we know full well that while they do have very harsh laws, and people who go there should know that it was obviously a political arrest.
Absolutely.
Because, North Korea had a dude, they killed that dude. He died in custody or he was brain dead by the time they sent him back a couple years ago. But we also got to know anytime you travel, the risk is there.
Well, it wasn't just the hemp, the weed that she had. It was the fact that she was LBGQ.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't do that there.
Can we talk about that for a second, Jeff? I'm going to make an admission that might bother some of you. I have become so bothered by the bashing and the jokes from our own people.
Mm-hmm.
This might sound crazy to y'all. I know what I believe, but it's making it harder and harder for me to focus or hone in on that. As I don't want to say it's not a problem to me, but it's so ugly now.
Yeah, it is.
It's so ugly. And I'm disappointed in the comments and the jokes that have been made. One guy said, I forget who it was, like we traded an arms dealer for Joanna Man or something like that.
Wow.
you know, and I laughed, but then I said, this is disgusting. I said,
I tried not to laugh when you said it. I missed that meme. I tried not to laugh.
This is unacceptable. But it is ugly, man, because we're piling on, man. And let's just be clear.
Well,
I mean,
all the mass murders.
We're doing people wrong.
All the murders. And, you know, black
people really do hate LGBTQ. And it's getting on my nerves the way we're going that far.
But I have to admit, though, when I heard her talk, man, I was tripping because her voice was deeper than mine.
I know some people in my church voice is deeper than mine, but that's it's a smoker's cough. Sound like Marge Simpson from but I just hate the ugliness of it.
And it's getting uglier, and I think
everything's a joke. I'm like, this is somebody's life. Like, they got to live with this. The worst thing you could do at this point is be famous for something that people would.
I watched, I think it's Corey. Is that the comedy, the comedian Corey Holcomb? Or
okay, yeah.
Going off on Dwayne Wade's kid. I mean, going off completely.
And I don't agree with it, but I'm just like, well, I mean, what?
But you're talking about a child,
right?
Regardless of their preference, regardless of how they feel Dwayne and Gabby is doing, and if they're right or wrong in raising a kid like that, that's still a child. That child is still going to see this somehow or another. We got to lay off. We got to stop.
But I think I don't want to touch that more because that's bad. But I was disappointed in some of the commentary. I feel like we're just eager to tee off on anybody and anything that we can make a joke about. Absolutely. And, and that's one thing I say is this world has created, for better or worse, everything's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything is a joke. And that can be tough.
And the more ignorant, the more
the more it's shared and the more viral
likes you're gonna get, the more viral it's gonna go. It's ridiculous.
But this woman has a partner,
right?
And a family that misses her, and we're glad she's home. And bunk the haters with the whole Victor Boot thing, man. Because I mean, y'all didn't even know who this cat was.
And I bet you the tickets to who she played for. I don't think nobody knows who she played for, but I bet you whoever she played for, that the tickets gonna go up next year.
Well, they better, man. If you don't go see Brittany Griner, they need to just shut the WNBA down now. If you don't go see him now, I mean, you just need to go. She has 2 Olympic gold medals.
Yes,
correct.
Absolutely.
Good and well, if it was Steph Curry, you want that cat out.
Man.
Well, he wouldn't need to get out. He would just shoot threes from Russia. Steph Curry would just be draining them from the Siberia.
Airdropping balls
to space.
Just shooting them.
Shoot, I mean, that's what it is. All right. Speaking of weed in Russia.
Well, let's save him.
Where you want to go? Okay, where you want to hit
It was something else we had to hit on first. We need to save him.
R. Kelly's prison album?
Yes, there it is.
All right, admit it. Who listened to R. Kelly's prison album? What was it called?
I admit it, yeah.
I thought it was a duet with O.J. Simpson. So,
first of all, it's fake news. If you don't know.
Fake news?
It's fake news. He did not make a new album. It's old. It just resurfaced or somebody bought it or something.
He didn't make an album in prison?
In prison, yeah.
So it's an old recording.
It's an old recording.
But you can't ignore the fact that R. Kelly is supposed to be in jail forever, right? Didn't they seize his assets, or that we don't know?
Oh yeah, they seized They seized his commentary. He can't even. They took his commentary.
What's
that brother
commentary?
Can't. The money they had put on him for his in jail.
Oh, you mean commissary?
Commissary.
Okay. I was about to say. Thought you meant like his Bible commentary that he took with him.
They took his commissary. They took all that money. They took everything from that man.
Because every chick in America was putting money on his books.
Oh yeah.
They all sent him a 12 play. But
12 play.
So he comes out.
We could tell who Todd was.
It was called I'm Not the One Used to Getting Beat.
What?
It was called I'm Not the One Used to Getting Beat Up. I'll see myself out. Salute.
Oh no.
Salute,
Oh no,
Shane.
no.
We
no.
love you. We love you.
Oh my goodness.
That is comedy. But you can't ignore. Somebody got on his official platform and released it.
Well, once again, though, it goes back to what you have always said, that we don't do the research. We just run with it. The one lady on there talking about, my husband released a new album and they trying to block it already. I'm like, lady, would you take a few minutes to do some studying and some research before you call yourself the husband? You know, everything on social media ain't real. If you don't know.
Do you think he planned it?
He may have had something to do with it. He may have had something.
Had someone on his behalf.
Yeah.
Throw that out there just to get like,
and just the fact of the name of the song.
Yeah, I mean that's when I first saw it. I'm like, dude, whoa.
Right. But when you listen to it, yes, I did listen to it. He ain't saying nothing about kids. He's talking about all the girls.
This cat listened to it on the way to church.
I played it at no.
It was a devotional song. Yeah, and I mean,
he admits to be a freak. Yes, we all know that. That's why you're in jail right now.
You're a monster, dude. That's what you are. Okay, but that opens up a bigger question, and that is, how do you feel about people still being loyal and saying, I don't care what you say, he's still the greatest artist ever?
I mean, I'm not gonna take none away. I loved his music. I ain't gonna lie.
I was never a huge fan.
I loved it.
I was never a huge fan.
I mean, the dude was nuts. I mean, one of the greatest performers. I mean, he's absolutely nuts. I ain't got nothing. I ain't gonna take.
So, what is the limit? What will make us say? Because we've obviously taken personal offense to people like him and Michael. What will make us say we're through with you?
Well, I'm through with him, but I mean, I don't like what happened with Watson, but I mean. He played for Browns, so I'm rooting for
you would hate it if he didn't play for the Browns.
Hey, I didn't like what Michael Vick done. But dude, you served your time. You done what you had to do.
Yeah, but R. Kelly hasn't served his time though. He just got caught. I mean, like caught.
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
But there's nothing that won't tear black folk away from R. Kelly.
I don't think it's,
and we're like defiant about it. We're like, I'm gonna play it because you don't like it.
But no, I think it's because we can put a line in between his music and his person.
I don't know. I think it's because of the nature of it. Here's what I'll say. Maybe what bothers me is what you just said. He says, I admit it, I'm a freak. And we all know now what that really means.
Right.
To me, it's too direct. Mm-hmm. He's not like, oh, I can't take away his talent on the football field, and football field ain't got nothing to do with dogs.
Right.
To me, you have to I think to myself, dude is singing to and about girls.
Absolutely.
So that's the art form, literally. Making money off us so that he can build that. It's not separated to me. Because of what his line, does that make sense? Is what his line of business is. It's not like I said, a total separation in the business. He's literally tying sexuality, sexual music to actual sexual activities with children.
I don't know how long, and I'm not sure. I wasn't there. Obviously, I don't know. But his music.
Mike was there. How long was he?
His music has always, from his first record, has always been sexual.
And he's always been a predator. They're saying that he was always a predator. So if we know that it was always tied, the man's art and the man's crimes, to me, are one and the same. To me, the art is a soundtrack to the crime. Okay, so I'm just trying to because Prince was just as sexual in his music. And show me that he's got a legacy of preying on underage girls. I understand, but I would say, ew, dirty mind means something different. Controversy means something different. Donna Nikki means something different. You know all the songs. Well, that's a Prince fan right there. I know all the songs, too. DMSR. That's how it goes. It would mean something different. The art was the soundtrack to the crime. In that case, you can say Michael Vick was over here with dogs and over here on the football field. You know what I mean? I could see that. this particular one is so on the nose. He would have to, what if he just came out and said it like, yeah, by the way, I mean, let's be clear here. He was literally out here doing this stuff to the girls while his own music is playing in the background. Like, yeah, y'all gonna buy this?
Absolutely.
So I'm just like, to us, we should be like, girl and there should be a line for us where someone is flaunting it that far.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that's what's been bothersome to me. Marlon said people will make an excuse for everything because he's a talent in the black community. We did the same thing for Michael. We do the same thing for Bill.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely Bill. Oh, definitely. We definitely didn't want to see Bill.
Bill has a special place in my heart. Bill's like my R. Kelly. Bill is my R. Kelly. No, but Pastor Bowie says what he did was wrong, but what about the parents? I'm not absolving them. They allowed their daughters to be with him knowing his music. I agree.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
But is it a crime, though?
Is it a crime to allow the kids to go?
To allow your child to go to a party where R. Kelly is at, or to go if they say there's a party. And because there were some that apparently were grooming the kid or saying get next to him or whatnot. I mean, that's without a doubt ugly. No doubt about it. But we've talked about this before. You're still the grown man here. I don't care if somebody's, and of course I'm speaking from my own morality. We're not R. Kelly's, we're not pedophiles. Right. I don't care if somebody served their daughter up on my front porch butt naked. My job is to not let her in my house and touch on her.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's still my job.
I don't see what you can do with a 13-year-old anyway. The devil is a liar.
Isn't it something about getting older for any sane, real man that you just like,
it's disgusting. It's nasty to even think about it.
And I think that's a part of the sexualization of young people, because those of us who are old enough, we know how unnatural it is. So it's bothersome, not because I can't stop looking at girls, but it's just so flaunted in front of your face. You're like, you really shouldn't be dressing like that in front at the basketball games, you know.
Right.
So because, and not only do you know somebody else is
absolutely
looking and praying the way they should. I think,
in my opinion, they ought to ban all the spandex pants.
Cynthia Hill said, not all of them now.
Ban them all.
Devil is a lie. Cynthia Hill asked, "Is I Believe I Can Fly predatory?" I mean, I'm not about to let this cat off for one good song, for one.
Every artist has the one track on a.
Okay, I got something to say about I Believe I Can Fly, by the way. It's a horrible song. It's a terrible song.
What?
It's whack.
What?
The lyrics suck. It's his worst song.
Are you serious? That was one of his biggest sellers.
They're always the biggest sellers. The worst songs are always, it's bubblegum. It's garbage.
I Believe I Can Fly.
He wrote that sucker on the toilet, man. That mug was terrible.
No. I Believe I Can Fly is hot, Doc. That's a hot song. That was a hot track.
I used to think that I could not go on.
Mm-hmm.
Life was but an empty song.
Look, see, you say
if I can, what is it?
If I can see it, then I can believe.
That's some Jesse Jackson junk, man. Get out of here! Get out of here, no. Jesse, get your royalties.
R. Kelly, I Believe I Can Fly with the whole choir in the back. Come on, dog.
Who needs another choir in the back?
Come on, man. Coolio did.
I can fly. Well, he's a jailbird now.
Wasn't that song on the soundtrack?
It was on Space Jam.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The way said we could do a whole show on the
spandex with visual aids.
Oh, Martin said T-Rat.
Thank you. I Believe I Can Fly is garbage.
Oh,
I Believe I Can Fly is like Michael Jackson's "You Are Not Alone." I mean, it's garbage.
Yeah, that was garbage. That was garbage.
But that's always what gets people over, man. People love sap. They love sappiness.
I wasn't sappy to me. I liked it. I thought it was hot, Doc. I'm telling you,
man. We need a bigger table, man. I need him that much further after admitting that he likes I Believe I Can Fly.
Fly was hot. I'm telling you.
Oh man, you know
it wasn't hotter than
We're doing
it wasn't hotter than what was the other one?
Don't say You Saved Me.
No.
Because that one was
wasn't
hotter than what?
No, his hit. What was it? I can't even think of the name, but I ain't listening to R. Kelly records.
But what about Teenage Girls? You probably don't know what it is.
No,
what is it?
The worst one was when he was comparing women to Jeeps.
You remind me of my Jeep.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, you remind me of my Jeep.
But I'm saying it
whack.
was bad because it was supposed to be inspirational, and we were singing it in church.
Hey, y'all was singing that song with T.D. Jakes and Kirk Franklin too.
We were miming to it in church. This is how low. This is how low we have sung. We were miming the R. Kelly songs in church. Remember he went to church for a while? Remember he was in church for a while?
He was in there, then he went to the.
There it is. Every praise dancer did it, or group did I Believe I Could Fly during some. We was clapping for it.
Yes.
We're all monsters.
I
wasn't. No,
yes,
I was cutting that tape off. Cut that joker off. That's hilarious.
Wow.
All right. I'm done with R. Kelly. He's got enough of our time. What are we talking about next? Y'all got to give us something you want us to talk about.
Oh, we. What time is it? We about there. Yes.
Yeah, we about there.
Time to end.
Wait, what we got, Big Mike?
No.
What about the Sodom and Gomorrah preacher?
Which one?
You guys see that clip?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what he said was actually true. He talked about that. Sodom and Gomorrah biggest thing was not about homosexuality.
How so?
It was about,
because they've been teaching me for 30 years.
But I mean, when you read it, it was about violence. That's what he said. It was about violence. It was about them wanting not only to come in and have sex, but to come in and rape and to kill and to do all kind of stuff. I actually agreed with him.
Okay.
I actually agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things that we knew, but nobody's been saying, and part of it might be because we feel pressured to not speak too differently from the people that have raised us and taught us.
So long, yeah.
And honestly, Sodom and Gomorrah talk has just left the vernacular of most.
And what he said, he was not saying that it wasn't about homosexuality. He's saying that if that's all we preach on,
then you're
and we're doing injustice to the scripture.
Oh yeah, it's like the Jezebel spirit.
Absolutely. Oh my God!
That's like the Jezebel. The Jezebel spirit. It's just old time preaching about makeup and lipstick and stuff.
Whole what was the other thing I always talked about that you gonna have you gonna get it when you have sex with some soul ties.
Oh, soul ties.
The whole soul tie thing.
Can't get enough of those soul ties. TJ Holmes still on suspension, and Amy. Oh yeah, the Good Morning America affair. Did you see the dude?
I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, the two anchors was hunching.
Wow.
And they was getting caught, and they was up there doing their interviews and smiling at each other and giggling and stuff. And then somebody published a bunch of pictures. That's New York news, though. As long as they stay away from the Bronx. Statistically, homosexual encounters, the first sexual encounters, are typically violent rapes. You know what? I'm gonna need you to cite those sources. That's we were taught that if you're gay, it's because somebody touched you.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we raised in church, saying that, we almost approached it as if you identified as a homosexual, somebody must have done something to you and you need to be healed and all that and whatever. So she said, don't go there. What we do? Uh-oh, we're in trouble. Elder Carter's going to be texting me pretty soon. I can feel it. But yeah, I need some adult encounters, not children, are typically violent. So are you saying that they become? Okay, Marlon beat us to it. We gotta finish the stop first. We gotta finish the stop.
We coming
for you. So are you saying that they become that after, or were that and it just happened to be unpleasant at first?
She said she's just.
That's okay. That's all right.
All we're saying, Elder Carter, is that the guy said we're
talking about a pastor who made a commentary about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah is not just about homosexuality. There was other things.
A litany of sins.
Yeah, it was a litany of sins.
Evil.
If all we do is talk about homosexuality, we're doing the entire scripture an injustice.
As my old program director used to say, it's injurious to the text. I love that phrase.
Ooh, I like that.
It's injurious to the text.
Wow.
I love it. Yeah. I love those phrases. Yeah. So again, I don't want to be on the I'm not saying I'm on the side of anybody, but what he said, and it's so sad that we are just now in 2022 acknowledging openly what honestly, and let's just be clear here, by the way, Pastor Jeff, a lot of even your traditional preachers have the books and the commentaries and knew the truth for a long time, but that's not where the red meat and the amens were.
Yes.
You could get a whole lot of old school Pentecostal holiness preachers, and they know what the scriptures really mean, but they also know what the people want to hear. Yes. And they would keep saying what the people want to hear. Matter of fact, someone would try to test the waters and try to describe, it's not what we always thought. And if them looks on the folks' faces look like they ain't about to give this week, they're going right back to everybody going to hell, and everybody's a sodomite and Jezebel and everything else. And we have to be clear and take responsibility that even though some things might happen out of ignorance, at a certain point, if you know better, you need to preach better.
Right. Somebody has to take accountability for some of these sermons that were not
long after you knew better.
Right.
Long after you knew better. But again, if you're going to make any claims about statistics, I'd love for you to cite your sources. I think that's important. Mike says, like politics, many know the truth, but pander to there it is. And everybody has a fan base, don't they?
Absolutely.
The fan base of one group is staunch holiness, even though nobody's holy. Everybody got all these outside kids and stuff. The other group is ultra grace. Everything's all right. God understands. I'm going to make it in. So you're right. There's always a pandering going on. And you know what our job is as preachers is to kind of cut through that and say the things that might cut our people.
Absolutely.
And so the Sodom stuff is not a message to the world. It's a message to the church.
Yes,
if you're going to preach it, preach right. If you're going to teach it, teach right. And I like to say, and if you don't quite understand it, or you're not willing to accurately portray it, then just keep your mouth off of it.
Absolutely.
Just talk about something else.
Absolutely.
I mean it. Just talk about something else. If that's what if you're going to take that and manipulate it, like you said, to pander to a base, talk about something else.
And if we really take that whole scripture in context, if Lot would have never went to Sodom, would we even have heard of Sodom? I mean, so you have to go all the way back to Lot.
Yeah, because R. Kelly would have been there. R. Kelly wrote a song about it.
Oh my God.
All right, we need to get to Jamal Bryant's dime bags.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so Jamal Bryant has set the church on fire.
Man,
in an interview,
I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now.
I would.
You would?
Come on, man. What else can this guy? I mean, this is not some ministry destroying statement. He's not hurting himself.
I don't think
he's not hurting himself.
I think he's
loving this.
I think he's done a whole lot worse.
That's what I'm saying.
Than sell weed.
That's what I'm saying.
And his ministry is still intact.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I think he's enjoying this. Actually, he's enjoying the attention. I think that's why he said it. For those that don't know, Pastor Jamal Bryant, New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Lithonia, Georgia, or Stonecrest, wherever they're at. He said that he has so much acreage of land.
The most acreage of any black church.
Most acreage of any black business, I think, in the city where he lives, that he wants to establish basically a weed or a hemp growing farms, and teach black men economics, entrepreneurship, agriculture, and obviously that's going to go into some either church or parachurch ministry or fund or economic system that's going to benefit them too. Ain't no way he's not getting a cut.
Oh,
there's no way they're not getting a cut. So everyone's blown up that the church, and of course people take it like smoking weed in church, selling dime bags at the altar. Is the church going to be having a weed store in the bookstore, and all that? Is it really sinful for him to say, I want to use my property to do a legal operation that others are making billions of dollars off of all over the country? Man, listen, we got 10 acres at Second Baptist. Marlon said he told his brother that there's a lot of cornfields. Tag Cameron in here. There's a lot of cornfields out in Meadfield. Me and Cameron need to partner up.
I can hear Cameron saying, yes, sir, Doc.
We can do, yes, sir, Doc.
Yes, sir, Doc.
Yes, sir, Doc. Hamburger with nothing on it. I know my friend too well. He said he'll spearhead the ministry. We know you will, Marlon Reed. So people are blowing up. And first of all, they're the jokes. Yeah, I knew y'all preachers was like this. I knew, hey, it's a business. It's legal.
It is a great business move. I wouldn't.
Y'all got some property at Progressive?
Yeah, we got a lot of property, but I ain't about to grow no weed.
Listen, Paul said, take a little wine for your stomach. Take a little weed for your glaucoma.
I think the biggest thing here is, to not let your good be spoken evil of. I think that's the biggest.
Thank you, Pastor Tatum. Why are they surprised? It's Jamal.
Right.
This cat might be invested in Magic City for all we know. What are we expecting? But not just it's Jamal, he'll say something crazy, but it's Jamal. He's always pushing the envelope on what the possibilities of ministry are. You know what I'm saying?
He said at one point, he said, I don't have to ask that guy off the block, give him a track and say, let him know he's coming to the church. And now there's a problem I did have because he did say that will get people in the church. Mm-hmm.
No, it won't. First of all, the people that would come because we are quote unquote cool are already there.
Right.
That's one thing I've learned. If you are a person that connects with the people you would connect with are already there. There's nothing new you can do. Because people say that all the time.
Right.
Oh, shoot, you so cool. You was out there. You the kind of church I would come to. No, I'm not. Because I've been this and you haven't come. You haven't. We know what that's like.
Absolutely.
We are down to earth. We are not judgmental. We are out here.
We have a podcast.
Interacting. Right. We have a podcast. We are out here talking about weed and CBD. And you're not flocking into the church. And then for what purpose would they be flocking into the church? So that's the problem. And thank you. You were on the same page, Pastor Bowie, saying that it will cause young men to come in. I think that's the wrong focus. Absolutely. If you just wanted to say entrepreneurial, medicinal, it's a burgeoning industry and we need to get on the front end of it. Hey, like it or hate it, that's a valid point. But the business aspects can be a consideration on the absolutely. Line them up, Doc. Line them up. Okay, here's another thing. For all the church folk, preachers and everybody who are against Pastor, by the way, he's not doing it. He just said he'd like to do it.
Yeah.
For all of you who think the very idea of it is sinful to mention and act as if it's a viable interest for a church, let me remind you of his ideal versus your reality. I'm willing to bet $100 that your retirement and your pension and your 401k is already invested in some sort of CBD, weed-based business, private prisons, and all other types of activities and businesses that don't agree with your faith.
You might not even know about it.
You don't even know
about it.
Because your stockbroker, whatever pension or mutual fund that you're a part of is diversified, and it's one of the fastest growing sectors. Absolutely. So they'd be an idiot not to put you onto it, even if it's just a part of your, again, basically an invisible portfolio.
Right.
So if you're going to play that sanctified, then you just make sure you only investing in candles and bookstores and Bibles and stuff, because that's true. And by the way, there have always been things that were taboo at one time.
Always. That's where I was going.
That were taboo at one time. And then once we got comfortable enough with it at our pace, now we're fine with it.
Whether it be drums, dresses, jeans,
playing cards.
Oh my God.
Dancing.
Yes.
Dancing.
Yes.
Remember you were going straight down straight down. Now you can't go to a church Christmas party without seeing folk line dance, pastor doing the wobble. Where Pastor Hurd at? Pastor Hurd, whole church, my man, doing the whole wobble. Okay, and then when we decide it's acceptable. That's all I'm saying.
And half the churches now are accepting the LGBTQ.
Hollywood was evil until Tyler Perry started making movies with church scenes in them and putting Marvin Winans and Gladys Knight and people in the movies.
And wearing a fat suit with a dress.
Then cross-dressing became okay. I'm just saying. So you're right. We have our own comfort levels, but we might be really missing out. And let's just be clear here. Weed is I don't want to say it's no more. It has its own set of dangers and its own set of, I don't want to call it safety, as other substances that church people look as just either a minor inconvenience or a struggle. Because there are people who are perfectly comfortable and would not condemn somebody for having a glass of wine.
Oh, absolutely.
And they would simply say, well, then don't get drunk, incapacitated. The Bible says don't.
I remember when you first went over this second, they had that Mad Dog 2020 in the communion. That's the Mad Dog 2020.
Mike got his bag in the drawer.
I took some of Todd's communion. I was like, let me go back for some more.
You wonder why everybody's slain in the spirit.
I need a double take of this communion.
Read that.
In referencing Genesis, is it possible that the fall affected all areas, including agriculture and weed?
I believe that. I preach that. I preach that nothing in this earth was originally meant to be harmful to us whatsoever. In any capacity that you can think of. This might sound wild to you. I don't believe water was meant to drown you. I don't believe any plant was meant to be poisonous. Snakes weren't meant to bite you. It might sound crazy, but how can you imagine a creation where snakes are venomous in Eden?
Right.
How can you imagine a creation where a Venus flytrap or something could, whatever they do? It wasn't made to do that. So weed is on the lower. Let's just be clear here. And here's the thing that Jamal is willing to say that we're not willing to say because it crosses a boundary for us. Everybody knows that weed in particular as a drug was weaponized from about the 1920s on up, specifically to oppress Black people.
Absolutely.
And it started even before the drug wars with Nixon and all them. Even before that, it had to do with weed was a gateway drug that mixed white women with Black men. And the people who smoked weed and did those types of things in jazz clubs and juke joints would come after our women, and they started criminalizing it then.
Yes.
That's where it comes from. Just like they had a prohibition, era, the weed era stuck because the prohibition was about mostly white folks, but the weed thing was about mostly Black folk and people of color and Mexicans and South Americans. So that's always been. So will the church, especially us Black people, be willing to wrestle with the reason it has been ingrained in us that weed is as bad as crack and heroin and fentanyl and everything else, is that it is another tool of racist oppression. You ought to know about this. Absolutely. It's another tool of racial oppression, but we've internalized it. Mm-hmm. So now we're bashing a guy saying, and that's the thing. We like to preach about reversing the curse. Nobody likes to talk about how hard it is mentally for us.
Wow. Absolutely.
We love to talk about reversing the curse and reversing the ill effects of sin and the ill effects of injustice. And we talk about it spiritually, but practically, that really, watch this, it means you have to repent. Mm-hmm. Which means what? Change your mind that has been led astray about how to feel about a thing.
Come on, sir. Preach.
That's what we need to do. And I'm not saying you still don't need to put proper precautions and fail safes and all that. But if you have a completely evil view of something, they could have said lollipops were the devil 80 years ago, and we'd be saying it right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, CBD lollipops, but lollipops, if they said Tootsie Rolls were a gateway tool that would destroy your life and been saying it for 100 years, we'd be saying it. Mm-hmm. So that's to me what I feel like, and maybe this is a turning point for us to really see if we'll practice what we preach. And I mean, go all the way back to the systematic sin, the systemic sin that caused millions of Black families to be destroyed.
Yes.
Countless Black men to be put in prison.
Yes.
Trillions of dollars to be spent, trillions of dollars to be robbed from our communities. and one preacher's bold enough to say, let me take this thing that they have suddenly decided they want to make money off of, and let's make money for us off of it the same way. And we're saying that he's the center.
Wow. That's
I'm worried about that.
That's good, Doc. That's good. I just got one question. Is it going to be regular weed? Is it going to be regular weed?
Oh, no, it's going to be that new birth.
It's going to be that sticky, icky.
It's going to be that new birth.
That ooh wee.
It's going to be that holy hash. It's going to be that anointed angel.
Anointed angel.
They're going to give it some names.
He can get Mike Tyson down.
Come on,
there.
we talking about Jamal Bryant now. They're going to give it some names.
Some good name. All his preaching sermons.
All his sermons going to be weed brands. I mean, there has to be one who's the first, right?
Absolutely.
He says, skunk. You know too much.
Skunk. she went way back.
You know too much.
That's my dad. Used to say that.
Right. This ain't your daddy's weed.
Skunk.
And so here's what I say. Somebody's got to be the first.
I wouldn't doubt if he don't. I wouldn't doubt if he don't actually just do it. And
what do you think, Big Mike?
I guarantee you people going to jump on board and do it as well.
See, what people need to understand is that if they got their medical card for marijuana, they wouldn't be on half the medications that they're on now. That's actually killing them and ruining their bodies.
Well,
how much is a medical card, Mike? I know you got yours. Where you get it from?
No. I don't have a medical card. I don't know how much they cost. I don't know. But from what I understand, it's not hard to get.
But here's the thing. In the most scientific and researched era that mankind has ever lived in, if we have the empirical evidence, and we do, now I'm sure there's always more to discover. There always is. There's more to discover about penicillin, and there's always more to discover. But with all the evidence we have now, can the church release itself from its prejudices that have been ingrained in us enough to see it as another substance? Come on, y'all. Y'all watch these doggone medication commercials. They literally be like, if you take this pill, it can kill you.
Right.
Man, it causes more side effects.
Inverted elbow. Right. Your nostrils will turn inside out. Your eyeball might fall out.
Exactly.
And you be like, look, I need to have sex. Give me that pill. That's what. And some of this stuff ain't even essential. It's like, if you don't want to have babies right now, put this implant in, and you won't. This is birth control, right? But your ear might fall off and your stomach might stop working. So we know that there are side effects. We know that there's a potential of obviously weed is there, that it has I don't know what the word is, a getting high effect, right? It has an effect to it, but there are ways to minimize that. We got people smoking and we just look the other way. Everybody in church breath smell like why we come on. Mm-hmm. You're not condemning them. We stopped preaching about that a long time ago, right? We know people are out having wine and this, that, and the other, and a little bit more than a sip.
Oh yeah,
and a little more than a sip.
Oh yeah, still frequent the bar.
The one thing we could actually profit off of and benefit people, build something. I think it's deep.
So would you be willing to do it?
Yes. I'd be willing to do it. Knowing what I know now, if you asked me 10 years ago, the answer would be no. Knowing what I know now, the problem comes in with the government getting their profit, lottery, alcohol, and so on, and the church losing its tax-exempt status. Now, that's true, Pastor Bowie.
That's a good point, boy.
But but let's just say, if this is a business, this is not the first time churches have engaged in business.
Right.
I know of a church, I think it's in New York, that owns a Subway. They bought they put a church in the plaza and invested through their community development corp or whatever in a Subway restaurant franchise. There are churches that own car washes and salons and daycares. Our church owns a daycare. Mm-hmm. And we have the for-profit side that is under its own entity and the church side. And they have their interactions appropriately tax-wise. Second Baptist Daycare has had it 50-some years. They're paying rent to the church or they're whatever, and the business is separate. So if it's just another business entity, it is what it is. It just is. Churches have bookstores.
Oh, yeah.
Churches own properties. There are churches that are in business with real estate and are part owners.
The Word had about 30 businesses up in there.
Correct. 30 businesses. a lot of churches and a lot of us have been offered at some point or another to get involved with real estate and apartments, low income housing, partner with developers and all of that. And they get a Reverend Raphael Warnock's church, Ebenezer. There's several churches that do that. Elderly facilities, nursing homes. So if it's a business, it's a business and you have to treat it appropriately as such. So I applaud Reverend Jamal Bryant for starting the conversation. Charter school. Yeah, thank you very much. My friend Dr. Rice in New York has a charter school. A lot of people have charter schools. I applaud him for starting the conversation. I think because of who he is, he always courts controversy as a radical. But Pastor, I've been in this place in my own, here in Warren. There's always one who sticks their neck out to say something. And people either know they're right and don't want to say it, or they know they're right and they know that they wouldn't be bold enough to do it, so they don't want to see him do it either, because they're afraid that people are going to go after that and accept it because they still see it's wrong, whether it really is or not. Listen, we know better now that wearing a skirt doesn't send you to hell, but there's somebody out there that's going to keep on saying it.
Absolutely. They got to. Makeup.
Right. Tatum. And it's a cultural thing too, by the way. Thank you, Pastor Tatum. They've been smoking, how do you say, ganja in the Caribbean for centuries. It's what you mix it with that increases the harm. That is true. Other people in other countries and cultures treat different substances differently. They have all kinds of plants and different drinks and, things that they smoke or rituals or just recreation. Just recreation. The way we pop beers at the ball game, they sit around and do what they do.
Don't say we. I don't pop no beers at the ball game.
Yeah, we know it. I'm just saying what's American.
No, I'm just
the way Budweiser goes with football. Ganja might go with the spring festival at the beach or whatever, or whatever is just what they do. So
have you ever smoked it?
No, I've never smoked weed.
You smoke weed, right, Mike? I smoke weed. I've never really gotten high off of it. To be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if I had the bad stuff, the low grade.
I'm one of them.
I had the 87 weed.
I'm so holy.
I had a 93.
Yeah, you ain't had that new stuff.
I had the 87 grade.
Now, I'm a part of. I've never smoked or drank at all. I mean, and it's not like, and trust me, I'm far beyond. I'm so high and holy. It's just didn't. But right now, okay, let's jump back out to Professor Bowie. State and government don't agree with the profitability of marijuana. And I think once that's settled, then it would be safe. But here's what I'll say. Somebody's making some money right now.
And it ain't us.
It ain't us. There's a whole government-sponsored weed plantation 5 minutes from my home in Barbados. Wow.
My God.
I don't believe it's not profitable. I believe it's not profitable. How are we to? Okay, I can't.
How are we to differentiate?
I can't wait to answer this question. I can't wait to put that one up. Can't wait to answer this question. Love you, Sister McFadden. I can always count on you. How are we to differentiate a move of the Holy Spirit or weed high? I can always count on you. Something tells me you've been to the store. Okay, the same way I know when a drunk man staggers in, clapping all loud and singing, and I know that he's been sipping.
Absolutely.
Now, Dwayne has a good point. I'd be afraid to try the stuff that's out here today. You got that right. There's some fentanyl stuff. They putting antifreeze in it. I don't know what they do. Dipping it in.
I know when I was graduating, they started calling them woolies, but they was adding a little crack and stuff to it.
I was on that stuff. I was on that deep stuff.
I was like, all right, I'm done.
Right now, these days, I wouldn't trust anything off the street.
So it might be better going to the.
But that's the whole point.
Yeah.
But I think it's been said though, and Pastor Bowie, you might agree with this. It's been said though that would also increase the black market in a way, because there'll always be a population of people that for whatever reason cannot or will not engage on the legal side, and they'll go for what they can get on the street, and it will cause even more chaos and more death, almost like a class system, almost like a class of the people who can afford, because you can't, if it becomes popular, the price is going to go up.
Absolutely. Always.
So the cheap laced stuff will still be on the street, and that's what the average kid will still buy and take their risks. So Miss Hill, perfect. Many members of the general public consume cocaine for years, but I mean, but they didn't know the effects of it. I mean, I don't want to say they didn't know the effects. They didn't realize, I don't think, fully.
So they take it out. They took it out of Coca-Cola now.
Not my Coca-Cola.
I don't drink Coke anyway. If I drink,
I don't either.
Pepsi.
I don't. Yeah, I'm a Pepsi drinker. I like my Pepsi with fentanyl in it. So anyway, I'm joking, y'all. So anyway, I applaud Pastor Bryant. And once the fervor dies down, and by the way, it will never be acceptable to some people. We just have to live with that. We just have to live with that. That's a lot of things.
It's some things they just people and they going. It's some people so spiritual they ain't gonna make
Well, I won't say they're so spiritual. I'll say people are entitled to their convictions, and you can't ask someone to change their mind when they've been again ingrained.
I think some people are just out there.
That's true.
They just out there.
They're gonna have a war cry against weed or something. Hey, I tell you what. I tell you what. If one of them dance teams got high, I might want to watch them do a dance in church.
So
super slow flags.
So when you start inviting people over for church, like to preach at your church, and we'll be back there in the office and we sit past. We just
yeah, man. You need some water? You want some weed? But you want puff pass and what you need, Doc? Need some hot tea?
Hey, Bowie got that nice office too.
Right.
The couches on that jump, boy.
Exactly.
Every time I go to Bowie's preach, I be wanting to fall asleep.
He got a secret panel in there somewhere. He just hit the thing and it open up. Take your pick, sir. You want John's ganja? What do you want? Yeah. So I mean, one day is going to say,
that's really what greater friendship
is. Friendship. We will be friendly.
But let me clear up the misconception that I think some people have. With the medical marijuana, all of it doesn't get you high. They have different strains
and types,
different grades for different ailments and different moods, or it's like, okay, you have something to put you to sleep, you have something to keep you awake.
Right.
You have some for this, you have some for that. All of it doesn't get you high. So I just want to clear that up.
And let's clear up another misconception that we're hiding under the covers here. Y'all got all kind of pills that get you high in your house. And some of you can't function without them.
Exactly.
It's a whole lot of saints.
Mm-hmm.
Whole lot of saints can't function without. And you'll take a whole lot of stuff, and you know how to mix them. You know how to cut them. You know how to share them.
Ibuprofen 300. All the things.
You're right. Yeah, they be taking ibuprofen 30,000 for the church. Wonder why you shout so fast. But I mean, we are an overdoped, over-medicated society. And so there are different strains. And again, I just wonder how much, whether it's Black people, Black church people, we can get over what has been ingrained in us. And I'm not there yet. I mean, like I said, I would, but obviously you're talking, it has to be so normalized. But it's crazy that there is very much a centering of our minds that has been molded by someone else that dictates how we see this. In New York, you're allowed to purchase 3 ounces of cannabis and 24 grams of concentrated cannabis for personal use.
Actually, no.
She stays up on the laws. So how many ounces you got left, Tatum? Leah, before we go, I want to hear what your opposition to it is. We'll give you 30 seconds if you want to respond. What your opposition to it is, because the more I think about it, the more I think I like it. What else are you gonna do with the land? Cotton fields? Would y'all rather we have
apple trees? It's in Georgia.
She said she pastors and
some peaches.
Man, you can't make money off peaches like you can off some.
Man, you want no peaches up here?
No, I'm talking about. We're talking about in Georgia.
Man, I got it, Pastor Jamal.
I mean, but I'm just saying, if you really want to teach them agriculture,
you better make
that doesn't have to be weed. It don't got to be.
You better make some weed peaches.
I mean, you can teach them how to grow plants, flowers, corn. What?
What's the price of lettuce? There's opportunity in. Well, weed is the hot commodity we already don't have too much of. That's the thing. Weed is the hot commodity. And I don't know if farmers, I don't know how to tap in, but people are addicted. You're right. Yeah, we're not trying to get you to tap in. We just want you to comment. People are addicted to sugar.
Oh, yeah.
If the church owned sugarcane fields, nobody would say, you're doing a bad thing.
Addicted to coffee.
People addicted to coffee. So I agree. I mean, and then funny because I'm an anti-drug guy. I'm staunchly anti-drug. I still don't like the smell when I go into venues and stuff, and everybody's, whatever. It is what it is.
Oh, I love the smell. I ain't gonna lie. I love the smell. I ain't gonna smoke it, but I love the smell.
I like the smell of cigars instead. I don't like the smell of weed.
I hate the smell of cigars.
You like the smell of cigars?
I like the smell of weed, though.
But I know a lot of Baptist preachers. They have plenty of cigars.
I get some weed cologne.
You'll get some weed cologne. Okay. I do the weed. All right, we're tired, y'all. We've been at it for a while. Hey, y'all, we're going to do some more freestyle editions and talk about some more stuff. These are all complicated subjects. We hit out Brittany Griner, R. Kelly's album, Pastor Weed, Bryant, and
Sodom and Gomorrah.
I feel like the church had to be involved. Okay, that's a good point. We don't have to be involved in everything. I get it. Well, you need to come tied to my preaching then, and maybe I won't sell weed. How about that? Because that's exactly what Jamal was saying. He's preaching his butt off every week, and that ain't getting him in. You gonna try something?
Right.
So, better come on and listen to this nigga holler and give me some money.
I hear you, Pastor Tatum. People are addicted to food, but we still having church banquets.
Oh, man, we killing the saints.
Oh, my God.
We are killing the saints.
Spaghetti dinners like a big dog.
Man, come on and get this gout. Yeah, we're doing it. I mean, we're doing it to people. And then bless the food and pray for them to get healed of hypertension. So it's not like we don't have a track record with unhealthy substances. If it brings them in, it ain't bringing them in. We already established that. It ain't bringing them in. Yeah. I got to have a whole bar in the church and it ain't bringing them in. You know what? Funny, I saw an ad for that guy, the cussing preacher on Facebook, the cussing preacher. That one guy that got viral. He ain't got no big church. It's always gimmicky.
Right.
It's a laugh for Facebook.
Right.
It's never going to be an actual ministry. If I did become the weed pastor, the weed preacher, if I did a podcast or did sermons and I'm up there with a whole bong sitting there on the pulpit, it would be a crazy viral Facebook thing. I would not grow a big church. It's not bringing nobody in. So we just have to knock that whole thing out. Point blank. I know white guys that do like beer Bible studies at bars and stuff. And especially if you go to England and stuff, I mean, it's not looked at like that. It's just going to the pub.
Oh, yeah.
And having a drink. So again, they're not mega churches. Everybody didn't flock to them because it is what it is. And again, at the end of the day, you don't want to hear about Jesus. You don't want to hear about Jesus.
That's it.
That's it. And if the church still suck otherwise, who cares how much weed you got? They can get weed somewhere else where they actually like it.
It will make the service funny, though.
It will make the service funny. There's it. All right, we've had enough. We've taken this stretch just as long as we can. We appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, subscribe, Twitter, and all of your other platforms online.
Coming soon to TikTok.
Yeah, Jamal had a men's event at the cigar shop. I know a lot of preachers that do that. I mean, you ain't seen preachers drink and smoke till you've been to like a convention. Brother, they had that bar packed up.
So,
oh yeah, man.
And then we'll preach you under the roof
and preach you under the table. Hey, little wine for your stomach. All right, y'all. Until next week, if there's something you want us to talk about, make sure you put it in the comments. Send us your memes. You got anything else you want to say?
I'm good. Let's go smoke this weed.
Let's go. Get high. Me and you.